as a parent, it doesn't add up for me. And as a parent that's probably a little bit more informed than some other parents might be in this space, um, I'd be lying if I say some of this doesn't sound fishy to me. Luis, I think it's important. I have so many questions about this, but can you, for our viewers that maybe don't know the program, maybe they didn't read the Athletic article or hear last episode, kind of lay out the program, because there are elements in this that kids can get involved in. And I think one article I read said about 80% of the kids have already signed up. It may be more by this point, but explain that they have a red signal and a green signal, and because I think then the questions become a little bit more pertinent if everyone understands what we're dealing with.
Yeah. So the website Taka.ao is where all MLS Next players and coaches and scouts can go to. And when I mean scouts, it can be national team scouts, it can be MLS Academy scouts, it can be college coach scouts. And so they're able to see now all of the players, but all of the players, over 16,000 of them, have access to the video exchange. And so historically, there's been one place where coaches could go watch video. But then I've asked, just within my role, when I think about my own professional development, it was at age 28, 29, when video just became more available. It was through different software and programs that a player can now watch all their touches, they can watch all their actions. And one part that was huge in my own personal development is whether or not I would watch the goal I gave up, is whether or not I would watch the mistake I made. And it was just embracing that learning. It allowed me to catapult and become a better goalkeeper, become a better player. And so that's what we introduced is now we want players to watch video, and now they have access free. All of our players have access to watching their video. And if they want to watch the next opponent that are going to play, they're able to watch that as well. And then we took it one step further. Let's break down their actions, but not every action, right? Because if Jimmy passes square to Charlie and then Charlie back passes to Tony and then they played out to the winger, like you could say that that's great that you got to see that action, but how much of that is going to really help them in their learning? You want to see the key actions. You want to see the significant actions. And so that's where we focus, knowing that maybe we don't want to break down all 100 passes that a player makes, but we do want to break down the dozens of key actions that could have led to a key play or a goal scoring opportunity or a goal or giving up a goal. And we want to provide that for all of our players. And so now for the first time through Taka, all 16,000 players, all coaches have access to a video exchange to watch any video. And then what we've given is players the ability to create their own profiles. And it's within their profiles, they can see their clips. Now, I will add, there is an upgraded version of it where they can see all of their clips. But what's given to every single player is the ability to create a profile and see some of their clips. And then the other part is they can watch all of the video. And so it like, that's the thing about player development. I've only been in this space for 2 years. And the same way when I played goalie, it'd keep me up at night as I made a mistake or as I was getting ready for an opponent, is just what consumes me. And now within my role, this puzzle of player development consumes me. It's something that I think about, I dream about. It's like, how can we advance Major League Soccer? How can we develop better players? How can we get closer to winning a World Cup in this continent? And it's through the work that we're doing at MLS, we're trying to answer those questions. But that puzzle, there's a lot of pieces. And so is Taka the answer to it? Is that going to get us closer to winning the World Cup? Probably not. Is competition at U13s and 14s going to get us closer to winning the World Cup? Maybe. Is our players watching video going to develop better professionals? Possibly. But again, these are all pieces of that puzzle that we're trying to put together, because the goal and the objective is to develop better professionals, to elevate the league, and this will have a natural positive byproduct on national teams.
Tones, were you going to follow up? Because I'm ready to jump in.
Yeah. Well, I didn't ask a question. So
I think Tony had like literally 50 questions pop up at once.
I'm a guy that's been in youth development for over 15 years. I was a scout for U.S. Soccer. I was in the youth national team programs for 5.5 years. My biggest responsibility was finding players at different age groups, right? That kind of stood out. So I feel like when I read this program, and I've done a lot more research since, as much as I could, as much as they're out there, Luis, I got to be honest, I feel like we're creating robots, because we didn't get into the fact that when these kids watch the video, there's a green light, if I understand it correctly, that tells them that they did a good thing. And there's a red light that tells them if they did something that doesn't fit the profile of whatever we decide is quality of play, and that thing gets bigger if the play is worse. And again, if I'm wrong in any of this, please correct me, but that's how I'm understanding it. So my first thought is the fact that if I'm a kid that's 13 years old, I don't want to see a red light, right? And I don't want to see the red light get bigger. And then the other thing that sticks out, and I can't help because I'm a parent, I don't pay any more for my kids to play, but I can't tell you how much I paid. We're worried about development, but the kids have to pay. They're going to get a few clips or some clips, but they got to pay for other clips. I don't know. As a parent, it doesn't add up for me. And as a parent that's probably a little bit more informed than some other parents might be in this space, I'd be lying if I say some of this doesn't sound fishy to me.
Okay.
And am I wrong in feeling that way?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think if anything, we should be asking questions and be curious on why are we doing it this way. But that's actually the genesis of the entire project is like when we look at the last 60, 70 years, just as a country and our view towards development, I think we have to start with that question is like, are we any closer? Are we developing better players? And that answer is going to be subjective. The same way that you said you're a scout with the national team, the players that you're looking at, there's a level of subjectivity. Is it possible to have complete objectivity? Probably not. But I will address some of the details that you said with the 13-year-old that's watching or is looking at a red light and seeing a dot. I mean, isn't that part of development as well? Is looking and seeing how you made a mistake and learning from the mistake. And so what we're hoping is that player is willing to click on that dot and see the mistake that they made with the mindset of like, how can I grow from this? How can I be better? And as far as even those clips that you're talking about, these moments of significance, it's also rewarding the ones that the outcomes didn't necessarily turn out great. Like if that midfielder sees that ball, that breaking line ball, and it isn't executed perfectly, just the fact that they saw it is something we want to highlight. And that's also part of the player development as well. And just even having these conversations with this group who has had careers and understand the space, like I see that as a positive thing as well. Like as long as we continue to ask those difficult questions and are willing to try to get closer to the solution, I do think the solutions are out there. And the more and more I have these conversations and I listen to different perspectives, you start to hear an overlap. And what you're hoping is that you can take from that overlap and implement into what we're doing in player development at Major League Soccer to get us closer to finding that solution. It's like, I'm glad that we're having this conversation. If anything, I would ask that, I mean, over the last year, like there were so many moments where I was just skeptical. There were so many moments where I just wanted to scrutinize and say like, there's no way we can do this. This doesn't make sense. But we would then go to MLS Academy directors. We go to MLS Academy coaches and we'd present what's out there. And it was fascinating to hear how many were like, that's incredible that you found that clip. That's incredible that you saw that. And so what it started to do, it started to ease that anxiety that I had, because I knew that once you put this out there, it's going to be open to criticism. But isn't that also what we experience as pros? This level of criticism that comes with being on that stage in front of other people. And so it wasn't something that a company came to us and said, hey, this is what we should do. If anything, when the company came, I was like, no way. Like that, just from my experience, like there's no way we can do this. But the longer and longer we pressure test it, and the more and more people we expose it to, we started to realize that this isn't that far off. This is actually identifying areas that are going beyond subjectivity. These are areas that maybe a coach didn't see. And then here's the other thing that Taka ends up being: an incredible tool for coaches. So, Charlie, you said that you're in the youth space now. Jimmy, you said that you're coaching. Tony, you said that you coached. Imagine your life right now, how busy it is. And yet you're getting ready for your youth soccer team practice, but that's not your primary job. Do you really have time to go through video and clip it? And yet now what we've done is we have given coaches the ability to go through clips of their game that they can now implement and share and talk about with their players that wasn't previously there. And so quality of play isn't the end all be all. I think it's the very beginning, because it's through quality of play rankings and even what we're doing with Taka that we've now introduced this conversation that will keep going. But we've also introduced a competition that wasn't previously there at the end of the year for the 13s and 14s.
I know. You're sad. We've come to the end of the video. But if you want more average to good content from your favorite former U.S. men's national team players, this is the channel to make it happen. Go look at our other videos. Go look at our playlists. And if you want more of the content, the best way to make that happen is to hit like, hit subscribe, and then turn on all of your notifications so that you do not miss anything that we drop or when we go live or whatever it may be. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. And I don't know how you couldn't hit like, hit subscribe, of course, and then turn on your notifications so that you do not miss anything that we drop or when we go live. We'd really appreciate that. We'll see you next time.